All right. Hello, everyone. Adrenaluke here. I am testing out the Camaro right now on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Those of you that already know this, I've transferred over to ACC lately because I'm just kind of getting tired of Gran Turismo 7, where Polyphony Digital is just not getting their crap together with that game, and so I'm basically transferring over to ACC full time just to have a different sim racing game now, if you can even call Gran Turismo sim racing. I mean, it's more on the sim side of Simcade, so to speak. But there were a lot of issues with Gran Turismo 7 where you'd have update after update after update that comes out, and it seems like they're just not addressing the issues that was bothering a lot of people, frankly, and not just me. And so it just feels like they're ignoring the player base. A lot of the issues that I wanted resolved just were not getting resolved. And so I've just had it, and I've kind of lost my patience, and I'm done with that game. So I'm going to ACC, and I'm, in a way, I'm actually kind of glad that there were so many issues with Gran Turismo 7 because that has given me an excuse to try out this game, and I'm falling in love with it. I'm absolutely loving this. It's just so much better than any other racing game I've ever played. And some people even get offended if you call this a game. I know there's some people that say, "Oh, it's not a video game; it's a sim." Listen, sim, video game, whatever you want to call it, I love it. Okay, so I pretty much already figured out what my best GT3 car is for me, and that's the Porsche. And I'm trying to figure out if I can find a favorite GT4 car. So far, I thought that the Porsche was also my favorite in the GT4 category, but I've been trying out this Camaro a little tiny bit before starting the stream, and I'm actually loving it. And I'm going to go ahead and post a link to this stream to other places real quick just so that I can get a little bit more people tuning in. Bear with me for a second. I know I'm kind of just hovering on the menu here and just talking, so not much action is going on yet, but once I get this link posted around, I'll go ahead and show you guys what I'm doing for the setup, what my thoughts on the Camaro so far, because I'm taking it to Imola here, and I haven't really driven it much. I've only driven it, I think I've driven the Camaro like I'd say probably half an hour before starting the stream. So I got kind of a rough idea of the strength and weaknesses of it so far. I'll learn more about this car as I drive it more, but I have a pretty, general understanding of it so far. And this is a great car, actually. But let me go ahead and post a link to a few places, and then I'll continue after this. So, brief interruption here while I just post this link around. I'm on Brigsby's Discord. I'm looking for where you're supposed to share links to. Here we go, community. Where the? Oh, post your content. Well, that's great. Oh, there it is. Alrighty. Posted my link there. Posted in a couple more places. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, give me just a second, guys. Sorry that my camera's not on, by the way, too. I know normally I have my camera on when I'm streaming, but I'm not able to sit in my cockpit yet because I'm still recovering from surgery, so that's why I don't have my camera rolling as of right now. I'm using controller, which you can see on the title of this live stream. Alrighty, posted my link to a few places. Hopefully some people will tune in a second here. So let me show you guys what I got so far. Don't know why I was hitting R1 to try to go to setup. Alright, so I think the temperature's changed a little bit on the track surface and the ambient temperature since I was testing this out. In fact, let me go to my presets here while it loads. Yeah, so I put okay, so ignore these. I might even delete them, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just going to delete these, because those are just me testing things. I don't really need those anymore. That's why I labeled them Test 2, Test 3, stuff like that. That's me just trying to figure out things, and so I tested around, but this is what I got. I called it Race 26-28, and that means I put 26-28 to just remind me when I made that tune what the ambient temperature was and track temperature was. So it looks like that has gone up a few degrees, or gone up 1 degree Celsius on both. So I might need to lower the tire pressures by just like 1 increment each before I do this, because I won't need the tire pressures to be as high with the temperature being 1 degree Celsius higher. But yeah, so here's the thing I think about the Camaro so far. I think that it's all around phenomenal. It's very hard to find any weaknesses. In fact, there's a lot of strengths. Is that even before I started going deep with the tune, I noticed that it's very fast out of the corners and it has a max speed. Now, you can hardly say that about any car in this game. It's got the best of both worlds as far as speed goes. It's fast in initial acceleration and it has a high max speed. So that's great. On the straights, you're going to dominate on it, and coming out of the corners, you're going to be very fast. But well, okay. When I say out of the corners, I'll get to the weakness later on because it's not the torque. The acceleration with the torque of the engine's great. So just driving in a straight line, when you first punch it, it goes real fast on the acceleration, and it can get up to a pretty high speed for GT4. So the speed is great. It's a very fast car, and it's very, very fast. It's very good on the brakes, too. So not only are you coming out of the corners fast, but you can brake hard before you don't have to brake really early on it either. It's got very aggressive braking. It's got very good, I would say it's got decent aerodynamics. It's not horrible with the aerodynamics like the Bentley is. It's not amazing with the aerodynamics like the McLaren is. But it's got solid aerodynamics. That's about run-of-the-mill aerodynamics, not really good or bad. It's got phenomenal brakes, like I said, really good torque. I would say the biggest weakness of this is the weight. Makes it to where it's how heavy this car is, and you'd think with it being heavy that it would struggle with acceleration, but that's not the case. It can accelerate really hard despite its high weight. What I've noticed is that it suffers a little bit from body roll. I think its main weakness is that it has understeer upon exit of corners. So you do have to let off the throttle a little bit later than you should to exit the corners because it just suffers from so much understeer in the corners. So that's what I've been basing this tune around ever since I realized that, is me trying to figure out a solution. And it's not really the easiest solution because I think what's causing the most, what's causing the understeer upon corner exits the most here is the weight, how heavy the car is. So that's not an easy anecdote because you still want to maintain its agility. You want it to stay agile. So at first I tried with the wheel rate, making the wheel rate as high as it can go on everything like this. And what that did is it just locked the car up a little bit too much. So it definitely got rid of a lot of the body roll. I mean, when you put the wheel rate that high, it hankers it down big time. And so it doesn't have as much body roll, but then it makes it have understeer for a different reason than body roll. It's just hankered down so much that it doesn't want to rotate then. And you think like, okay, well, you can change the brake bias to solve that problem. Change the brake bias to give it more rotation. But I mean, having the wheel rate that high was just problematic. So that didn't really work. So I put the wheel rate back down to the default settings. But I did bump the bump stop rate is just like 1 increment higher on the front, and I think one increment higher on the rear as well. But I think the best solution to this is I made the differential as low as it can go, because if you put the diff high, which I think it was like 30 or 40 to begin with, so it was already very low straight out of the box. But I at first tried to make that higher, and that was definitely the wrong way to go. Because if you make it 50 or 60, then that's too much Newton meters on the differential, and it's going to make the corner exits even more understeer. But it makes the corner entry better. But this car does not suffer on the corner entry. It's actually great on the entry, and so that's why I just put the diff as low as it can go. Honestly. Doing that, I just made the ride height as low as it can go, because that's gonna solve a little bit of the it's gonna solve a little bit of the body roll. Making the ride as low as it can go is gonna solve the body roll some, but you've introduced a new issue when you do that, is that now it's not going to handle bumps as well. So what I've done to compensate for that is I made the dampers very significantly high. And I'm on Imola, and this track has some bumps, not a whole lot. It does have some sausage curves in it, though. And it surprised me how well this is able to handle the bumps despite how low the ride height is. So that is actually a pretty good solution I've found, is I made the ride height as low as it can possibly go. That solves a lot of the body roll issues I was talking about. And then I just, to compensate for that, made the dampers very high values. So very, very strong dampers to absorb a lot of that shock because I made the ride height so low. And that also solves the body roll a lot. So, and like I said, I've lowered the differential to make the corner exit. I don't want the differential to interfere with the corner exit as much, and so that's helped a lot as well. And I've left the wheel rate just how it is. Left the anti-roll bars how they are. It's just a balance of one in the front and one in the rear. So the car still is very agile. It rotates a lot, and it's not suffering from like snap oversteer very much. I mean, it sometimes will a tiny bit, but it's very forgiving, and you can very easily correct it right when you notice it. I mean, honestly, I could probably even tweak it a little more, but it's rotating a lot. It's very agile. I feel like the adjustments I made really fixed the only issue it had. And another thing I've done is I've lowered the toe angle in the rear, and that should help with the corner exit as well. Because it was initially 0.2 degrees. I don't think 0.2 degrees. I don't think you need that much of a safe setup on the toe angle on the back, because that's a positive toe angle. You don't need it to be that sturdy on the corner exit at all, because it's, like I said, suffering from understeer in the corner exit. So I've lowered the toe angle on the rear a little bit. Now this I did not change, and I noticed that the front toe angle is very aggressive right away. It's set negative 0.1, and that's pretty aggressive. So that makes it very agile on the corner entry, and like I said, I'm not really noticing any flaws on the corner entry. It's just a corner exit. So I'll go ahead and drive it here. Looks like the ambient and track temperature are both still the same as when I started the stream. So I'll go ahead and drive it here, and you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about how it's very great upon corner entry. It suffers a little bit on corner exit, but as of right now, I mean, I tuned it before stream. You guys aren't really going to see how much of a difference I've made already, but it's still suffering a little bit on corner exit, but I think I've found a tune here that works pretty well. So I'll go ahead and test it a little bit more here and show you guys what I've done here and show you what I think of the Camaro and just have some fun. And I'm on controller, so keep that in mind. I'm not going to be driving as well as if I was on steering wheel and pedals. So we're going to enable the pit limiter here, and ignition's already on. Turn on the engine, listen to that V8 roar. I love the sound of this car too.
No time vision, stay clear of the curbs.
And you can see that my tire pressure, my brake temperature is very, very cold right now. GT4 cars is kind of like that. GT4 is different than GT3, so it's going to be very, very cold to begin with. So I'm going to do a little bit of warm-up laps before I go full speed here. Definitely not pushing it as hard as I can right now. I'm just trying to warm everything up. If you guys have tuned in, put something in the chat, because I haven't seen anyone type anything in the chat yet. You can already see right there. Now that could have been a little bit more of driver error than a flaw in the car, but you can see kind of what I was explaining, that it does suffer a little bit with the G's going all the way to the outside a little bit on the corner exit. It has so much momentum just shifting all the way to one side on the corner exit, which is pulling it in the opposite direction that you want it to go. It does have more body rolls than the Porsche Cayman, definitely by a lot. there you can notice a little bit too. And I wish they had telemetry of the G's, like an accelerometer. Sorry, I pronounced that really wrong. And there, that was completely driver error, but you can see how I had a little bit of snap oversteer there, mainly because of going over the sausage curbs. But it's very forgiving, and I was able to correct that very easily. And again, the tires are very cold right now, so I shouldn't have gone over sausage curbs with how cold the tires are right now. So that was completely driver's fault. And see, this thing for a GT4 car is very fast on the straights too. The engine is very powerful. I mean, of course, it's a muscle car. Oh, I braked too late there. It's a little bit too late on the brakes. You can see the rear's almost swinging out a little bit sometimes on the corner exit, just because on those moments I'm kind of zigzagging a little bit to where I'll be like that and then turn to the right. And it's that shift of momentum with body roll is pretty massive. Like, I can't emphasize enough how really the main flaw of this car is body roll, but if that's really the only things I have to worry about with this car, I'm sticking with it, because a lot of the other cars, they have way worse flaws. Now, this isn't going to be a car where it isn't really a car where it has very strong strengths to where it will dominate, so to speak, on specific tracks. Like, let's say, for instance, you take the BMW M4 in the GT4 category, right? That thing, it is way faster than this as far as max speed. So if you're at like Monza or Silverstone, the BMW is gonna outshine this. But the BMW has so much worse flaws overall that I like this trade-off better. The BMW suffers a lot more understeer, not just on the exit, but on the entry as well. So, I mean, the understeer problems in this is so much more manageable. And it's so quick out of the corners that you can almost afford to be a little bit later on the throttle, and you'll just be at the same pace that's in the corners as everyone else. And that's amazing. Honestly, I'm in love with this Camaro. And the thing is, I think why I'm so dead set on picking this car as my GT4 car that I'll drive is that it's a good all-rounder. It's like when you think of like Nintendo with their Mario sports games, all the different characters have so much like strengths and weaknesses, right? And then you have like Mario, that's just an all-around good pick. This is the Mario of the GT4 category. I mean, it's just a good overall balanced car where there's not much weaknesses. Now, like I said earlier, it's not going to be one where I don't think this is going to dominate much on any courses. But at the same time, it's not really going to do terrible on any courses either. It's just very balanced. And that's a good, reliable pick. So if I'm doing like a full season of racing in GT4, I'm definitely going to go with this. I'm definitely going to pick this for a full season of racing. Like, if you only had to pick one car, which, to be honest, in a game like this, you probably should in the first place. Like, I know in Gran Turismo 7, you can hop between cars very easily. This is not really the case. If you guys haven't played ACC, it's a full-on sim, much like iRacing, and you don't want to be hopping from car to car in this, because the characteristics from each car is so much... it's so vast. I mean, it's hard to just hop between cars in this game. Overall, you want to kind of pick one car that you just drive almost all the time, that you get very used to, and you kind of establish a connection with that vehicle. You don't really want to be hopping between cars like you would in other games like Gran Turismo. And with that being said, I really think that there's a strong chance that I'm probably going to be sticking with this Camaro because I like it a lot. I think it's just so well balanced. And I'm going to do a few more laps here. It looks like I've done 9 laps already. And I really think this is a solid tune-up setup because I've really fixed a lot of the issues I was noticing. Right here, this corner, that corner back there that I just did earlier is where you can probably notice the most how it suffers on corner exit. But with me lowering the differential a lot, lowering the rear toe angle a little bit, those two things significantly helped on the corner exit, and then me lowering the ride height. Ooh, braked late there. Me lowering the ride height has helped a lot with reducing the body roll as well. So the body roll and the understeer on corner exit, those are the two things I was trying to fix the most. I feel like I've done a very good job at fixing those. It just took a little bit of testing around, trying to figure out exactly what changes I needed to do. And I am going to say I didn't really look up, I don't really look up guides while I'm tuning. I do it completely on my own. So, I'll probably try a race here in a second and see how this pairs up. See if it can keep up in pace with a high difficulty AI. I'm not really going to take this online yet. I'll just crank the AI difficulty up a bit and see how this can keep up with it. Right there, you can notice a little bit of corner exit understeer as well. So it's still there. It's still there. It's a lot less prevalent than it was before. When I had the differential on the default settings and when I had the rear toe angle on the default settings, I think those two things made it to where the corner exit was significantly worse than it is now. So if you make rapid directional changes as well, that's where the body roll bites you the most. And I'll try to purposely do it here in a second just to show you guys. So let's say you were turning left, right, and then left again, right? Like you do kind of that, and then see how that creates the back end to swing a little bit because there's so much weight shifting in one direction, and then when you have the weight all the way towards one side and you quickly go the other way, like see how much the body rolls like that. So the body roll with all the weight on this car, the body roll bites you the most when you do quick directional changes. But that can kind of be solved just by making sure you know where you're going to go ahead of time. Like don't try not to make quick directional changes because that's going to end poorly with how much body roll this has. It's going to make the back end swing out more than it should. But that's the only time that you experience, ooh, that was really late braking there, oh my god. But that's really the only time that you experience oversteer on corner exit on this. The only time you experience oversteer is like what I just mentioned there, is when you have quick directional changes. See right there, you can see too, the understeer on the corner exit is still there. And well, look at that though, when I went back on throttle, I mean, hang on, let me slow down here so you guys can see. When you go back on throttle, man, this thing punches. You go back on throttle and it just, like, look at this, about 30 miles an hour, and look at that. And that's with traction control on, too. And this thing is very quick at accelerating. So that's the thing, is, it's a double-edged sword because the engine has so much torque that can propel you out of a corner very fast, but it's hard for you to get out of the corner very fast because you have to let off the throttle to compensate for how much understeer it has upon corner exit. That's why it's so important. If you get it just right, it can go out of a corner so fast. But see right here, I had to let off, I had to lift because I wouldn't have clearance for the corner if I didn't. It brakes really well, so corner entry is a breeze. Corner entry is actually excellent because the brakes are very strong. Even I'm on pad 2 right now, and if you guys don't play Assetto Corsa Competizione, if you don't know about the brake pads, pad 2 is the endurance brake. So these brakes are not meant to be very strong. but just the nature of the brakes in this car, it's like I'm on pad 1. See, this brakes very hard, and so you have it braking very strongly, and then you have it very agile, so it's very, very, very agile. Your corner entry is so strong, but then the exits were something so... See, right there, I had to wait to go full throttle longer than I should have. And I know I'm beating on a dead horse by now. I've been talking about the same issues over and over, and I've done 11 laps, so I think 11 laps is long enough. Let's go ahead and stop the car. And so it looks like our tire pressures were 27.2 all around, or 27.1 on some of them. So that's it's right on edge of where it should be. But I did bump the tire pressures up by 0.1 psi each because the ambient temperature and track temperature rose, and so I thought I should bump it down a little bit on the pressure, which I don't think I bumped it down enough. I probably should. Oh, and the track temperature has rose even more since. It's at 30 degrees Celsius right now on the track temperature, so I'm going to lower the PSIs by probably 0.2 on each now, so 0.2 PSI going lower on each. It looks like my camber's pretty good. So you can see when it says last readings on the outside here. So right here I have right front highlighted, that box right there. If you look directly to the right of that, you can see how it says last readings. Now that IMO stands for inside, middle, outside. That's telling you the exact tire temperatures, I believe in Fahrenheit, of the inside, middle, and outside of the tire. And so you want the inside of the tire to be slightly hotter than the outside. And that's right where we want it, to be honest. It looks like I might need a little bit more camber on the rear, but I like how planted it stays in the rear, so I don't know if I want to change that. I don't know. I think I'm going to keep the camber where it's at. Now, to be honest, I might experiment, though, and make the... Let's make... Hey, Brigsby, what's up, man? So I'm going to experiment with making the rear toe just a little bit less, because I still feel like the understeer on the corner exit is still there. Now it's significantly better since I lowered the rear toe already, and with me putting the diff at the lowest setting possible. That definitely helped the most. But I'm going to, instead of 0.18, I'm going to try 0.15. 0.15 is a lot less, and that will probably make a big difference. Now, what I want to look out for is stability on corner exit, which stability on corner exit should still be good because I do have the rear tires pretty flat. It's not as much height. I have much more camber on the front tires, so having less camber on the rear, I still can get away with that. I mean, the inside temperature is just a tiny bit warmer than the outside, so that's about as flat as I can get away with on the rear tires. So we're gonna try this out in a second and see what difference that makes. So
what's up, Doc? How you feeling since surgery? And I'm just lurking ATM.
Hey, Duke. Yeah, I'm feeling great after the surgery, actually. Lately, I've been having a big surge in recovery. Speaking of the surgery, guys, that's why my camera's not on. Because I would have my camera on, but I'm not able to sit in the cockpit right now, so I'm using controller on ACC, which is a little bit of a nightmare. But, yeah, I can't really sit in my cockpit, and that's where the camera's pointed towards, and I don't really want to fix that and try to figure it. I'm literally just sitting in front of a card table right now, so just using controller. I'm far away from my TV, too, so I'm using hood camera instead of cockpit camera. I'm using hood camera on ACC. It's not really the most popular thing to do. Oh, thank you, Brigsby. I really appreciate you, man. So I'll go ahead and show you guys everything in my setup if you're really curious. But I think the main points to take away here is that really honestly, the only two weaknesses I've noticed of this car is it has understeer upon corner exit, and it has a lot of body roll. And so, yeah, the things I've done to kind of anecdote that is I've lowered the rear toe angle. I've put the differential as low as it can go, and I kind of just left the anti-roll. You'd think with the differential being that low that you'd need to really stiffen it up, but that's not been the case. And I actually have traction control down at 2. So traction control is low, the differential is low, the anti-roll bars are at 1 each. So you'd think this thing would be rotating too much. It'd have understeer. Sorry, it'd have oversteer. You think it'd be rotating too much. You think it'd be unstable. But that's actually not the case. So this car is impressing me a lot. And, I've been talking a lot about the flaws.
So I can eat.
Okay, Brigsby, that's fine. Yeah, lurk all you want. I like to talk a lot, so I'm gonna be the sprinkler. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking a lot nonstop. So sorry, guys, if I'm yapping too much. But I really get into these setups. I really find the tuning part of ACC to be so intriguing. There's just so much detail that goes into it. So, and the track temperature just went up by 1 degree Celsius while I'm talking. But yeah. So really, the only two weaknesses, like I said, is the body roll and the understeer and corner exit. And the fact that those are the only two things that I've noticed that's a flaw of this car, and everything else is such a good strength of it, I really think I've found the GT4 car out of the GT4 category that I'm going to stick with. And yeah, so what I've done to anecdote the body roll is I've lowered the ride height as low as it can go. I tried to stiffen it up at first to make less body roll. Now, it did, so I made the wheel raise as high as it can go, and that did make the body roll go away almost completely. But that made it have understeer even on corner entry. When I just made the car too locked up, and so stiffening it up with the wheel rate was not the right answer. So I put the wheel rate back to where it was, and instead I just made the ride height all the way as low as it can go. Makes a lower center of gravity, so whatever body roll you have now is going to be a lot lower of a pendulum. You think of like a pendulum swing. When your ride is a lot higher, there's a lot more area for that pendulum to swing. And so that's where your center of gravity is going to be then if you have a higher ride height. And so when you have a car like this that suffers a lot of body roll, you want to have the ride height as low as it can go. And when you make the ride height super low like this, it does fix the body roll a lot. But that opens up another issue to where now going over curbs and bumps is going to be not handling shock very well because the car is going to be so low that going over the bumps can really disturb the balance of the car. And so for me to...
The settings you gave me worked good for me. Thank you, brother. Thumbs
Oh,
up.
yeah, thanks, Brigsby. Yeah, I like you can see here in my stream, I'm talking like deep detail about setup. So if anytime you want, man, like we can really dive deep and get you a perfect setup for your car if you want, because that's what I'm doing here. But like I was saying, like with the ride height being that low...
Yeah, I really like this game, huh?
Yeah, the game's great, dude. I'm falling in love with ACC. Like I'm already starting to get obsessed with it, but...
Glad to hear you're coming along. Saw you on. Just thought to say hey, off to bed, long day tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to bed, Duke? Okay, well, have a good night's rest, and hope that your long day tomorrow goes well. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, but, so for me having the ride height this low, Brigsby, I'm mainly just talking to you now since Duke's going to bed. With the ride height being that low, it did change the body roll, and it fixed the body roll, but then going over bumps would disturb it. So I just went to the damper section in the tune here, and I just bumped the dampers up really high. So the dampers are very high now, and that seems to help with keeping it stable over bumps a little bit. It's still now. I mean, obviously, with it being this low, it's still going to not handle bumps very well. So sausage curbs are something I definitely want to avoid right now in this, but I'd rather just try to avoid sausage curbs and have the ride height this low because that fixes the body roll. And what I've done with the dampers here did help kind of compensate for that, though. Overall, this car is just so great, though. It's so fast, and on top of that, the brakes are phenomenal. It can go real fast and it can stop real fast. It's a very good combination to have. So yeah, I've just lowered the rear toe angle. That should help on the corner exit. So Brigsby, you should keep in mind too when you're tuning your cars in this, and this also applies to Gran Turismo too, is that when you're changing the toe angle on the front and rear tires, the main things you want to look out for is your front toe angle is what you want to change when you want better corner entry, and your rear toe angle is what you want to change.
One day, but for now it feels so good, huh?
Yeah, you want to ease into it. Brigsby. You don't want to just dive head first and do like everything in the setup when you're new to this. Like it took me a while to get to the point where I mastered like the entire setup page. You'll get there. But yeah, like so on the toe angle, to explain to you though, so see how you can change the toe angles here. The front toe, you want to change that when you want to change the corner entry, and the rear toe, you want to change that when you want better corner exit. So if you're struggling to keep the car under control on corner exit, like if the car's fishtailing on corner exit, you want to have a higher degree of toe out on the rear tires. That's going to keep it more stable on the corner exit. Now, with me, I'm having the opposite problem. So on corner exit, I'm having a lot of understeer, and I'm not really fishtailing on corner exit. I'm just I can't put the power down early enough I'm putting the power down too late on corner exit, otherwise I won't make it because it's understeering on corner exit. So when that happens, like what you see me doing here, you want to lower the rear toe angle. Now,
tell me rolling on the floor laughing.
oh, now you tell me. Well, I didn't want to throw everything at you at once. I mean, you know, this is a lot to get into.
One day maybe.
Yeah, Icy Fever, just watch more of my live streams, man. I'll explain the Hey, real quick, guys, my room's getting as hot as an oven, so I'm going to turn on my fan. Let me know if it gets too loud, if the fan's too loud in the background, and I'll, I guess, turn the fan off and just suffer the consequences. But I'm turning a fan on here because my room's getting really, really hot.
Icy waving hand.
But yeah, Icy, just watch more of my live streams, man, because I am obsessed with, I'm a tuning junkie, dude. So I don't know if you just tune in, Ivy, but I was explaining to, did I just call you Ivy? But I was just explaining why you'd want to change the rear toe angle to Brigsby. I don't know if you overheard that, but yeah, so why you want to adjust the front toe angle is upon corner. So here's the rule of thumb here. Rear toe angle applies to corner exit, front toe angle applies to corner entry. So if your corner entry is not agile enough, you want more of a negative toe angle on the front. And if your corner entry is a little too agile and it's just too agile and you want to keep it a little bit more stable upon corner entry, then you'd want less front toe angle. So anyways, I've just lowered the rear toe angle for the reasons I just explained. So I'm going to go ahead and well, even before I test this out, let me I'm just going to put in parentheses here 0.15 just to remind me of the change I've made. And I'm going to make this just a separate page even. I'm just going to save it. A little bit overboard maybe, but oop. And that setting was for 2628. It looks like the ambient temperature is 27 degrees. The track is 31 now. Wow. So I'm going to lower the PSI starting out on the tires then. So I'm going to bump it down by like 2 increments each. Okay. So that should be good. Let's get out on the track and see if this made a difference at all. I'm getting really close to perfecting this tune, guys. I'm getting excited because this tune keeps getting better and better. I'm predicting that a 0.15 degrees on the rear toe is going to be a little bit too harsh. I might have to bump it back up just a tiny bit. Right now, Brigsby, I'm just doing an open run, just a free run to test out the tune. I'll race against AI on a high difficulty once I think the tune's perfected. Because sometimes what can happen is if you have the track completely to yourself and you're testing out a tune, you can sometimes get tempted to just focus on nothing but driving feel to where the car is so easy to control. But then what you don't realize is that you're losing pace. Like the car becomes very, very easy to keep stable, but then you're just off pace. So I kind of do this first. Like I have the track completely to myself to just figure out the strengths and weaknesses of the car and just adjust it accordingly. And then after I get it to where I want, that's when I'll put the AI at a really high difficulty and make sure that I can keep up to pace. You should try to be live during the day. Yeah, I know. I'm live pretty late right now. But hey, at least you're watching, so it's fine with me. I mean, you're getting into this game, so the fact that you're watching means a lot to me anyways, so I can help you learn stuff about ACC. But you're going to see how I do on controller now. So yeah, I have it on hood view. Oh, and by the way, Brigsby, you need to try this. So if you pause it and you go to view settings, see this? So I tweak this a lot. You can change look at all this that you can change. And this is for every single view. So even on the hood view, see I put height at 11.1, and it was like this, like right here. So having it like the default setting, I'm like, whoa, that's a terrible hood view. So you can just do like that, and I had it at 11.1, And then you can even change like the lateral if you want. You can make it offset. And then you can, the distance, have it at 13.5. You can change it so you can make it go really far away. And there's so much headroom. There's so much wiggle room. You can make this go anywhere you want. Like, look at that.
Oh wow, that's way cool.
Yeah, this is so much more headroom of all the things you can tweak than Gran Turismo is. You can make it so there's barely any of the hood showing. You can even make it like way in front of the car. So it just keeps going and going. You can tweak this like any single way you want. Well, I forgot where I had it, so I'm just going to hit quit before saving. There we go. And this puts it right back to where it was, so 13.5 there. Field of view, you can even change the field of view. See, I have it at 58, and you can go crazy with it. See that? Like if you want to see a lot, but it becomes more of like a fisheye lens then. I had it right at like 58. Yeah, and then you can change the pitch too. So like if you want it like this or that, like different angles of viewing. And then you can have the dashboard display in the HUD too, and you can change the opacity of that if you want to see, if you want it see-through, kind of see-through, more see-through, not see-through at all. Let me show you what that is real quick. First, let me quit. So I think the viewer where you'd want this to be on, not really hood view, but you'd probably want that to be on in what do they call it? The view where there's just nothing showing, a bumper cam, I think. Yeah, there's so many settings you can tweak. It's awesome. You can really personalize this game towards you. But look now on the bottom of my screen, you see that when I did in the view settings, it says dashboard display. So that's what you see in the dashboard when you're in the cockpit. And if you're not using the cockpit camera, this could come in handy, because that's exactly what you see in the cockpit down there. So then, you know, it shows when I have my pit limiter on, it says pit speed and all that, flickering the pit limiter on and off. Shows you your fuel use, your lap times, all that. You know, if you can turn that on or off. I'm just going to turn that off, though. I don't really feel like I need it. But, yeah, I'll go ahead and, so since I just tweaked my tune, I'm going to take it out here, turn my pit limiter on, turn the engine on, shift up in the first. All right, so here we go, ACC on controller, testing out the Camaro at Imola. Imola is a great track to really test out tunes, in my opinion, because there's such a good variety of different things you encounter on the track. All right, turning pit limiter off. So I'm going to look out for, well, first of all, I'm just going to do some warm-up laps to get some temperature in the tires and brakes. So I'm not really going to push it yet. I'm going to wait for the temperatures to get up. But once the temperatures are up, I'm going to try to focus on seeing if I can, if I solved that understeer and corner exit. You just said a lot. Hang on. I gotta pause it to read all that. Let me go to my stream on my phone so I can read all that. Should have just had that open in the first place. Let me go to my stream on my phone. You could hear my voice once I open on my phone. Speaking of your phone, tablet, wherever you can download Sim Dashboard. Oh yeah, that's what Scott did. Yeah, that's what Scott did, right? Because Scott shows that a lot. I am gonna plug in my phone so I can be charging, because it's a low battery. Yeah, Scott does that. Ah, almost went in the gravel there. It's not a good place to unpause it. So I'm really just looking to where, with me lowering the rear toe angle as much as I lowered it, once the tires get up to temperature, I'll test out if there's, I'm trying to get less understeer and corner exit, but I'm also making sure that I don't go too far in that direction to where I start to fishtail on corner exit. You want to have the right balance to where on corner exit you're not getting understeer, but you're not fishtailing. And with this car, that's going to be tricky because it's there's just so much understeer and corner exit that's going to be hard to get that just right. And I have a feeling that by the time you have little understeer and corner exit, you're going to be getting massive fishtailing anyway. So I feel like I'm gonna have to just get a compromise where it feels like I've solved it enough. There's still gonna be some no matter what with this car, but the fact that that's really the only flaw, that's great. I mean, almost every other car, there's just so many weaknesses that you can point out, and in this car, I mean, that's hardly any weaknesses at all. Okay, tires are getting kind of up to temperature. I'm not going to push it as hard as I can yet. I'm still just going to bring up the temperature a little bit more before I really push it. So, just a little bit more warm-up laps here. By the way, it took me forever to find the right controller settings to where I didn't feel like I was going under waterboarding torture playing this on controller. Braked a little late there. Oh well. Still just doing warm-up laps. I really like this track. So right there, you could have just saw, right there even, I have to sacrifice so much throttle input on corner exit, otherwise I won't make it because of how much understeer it has. And right here, I have to really avoid those sausage curbs because I've lowered the ride height so low to compensate for the body roll that sausage curbs just disturb the car so much now because of how low it is. Yeah, right there, Hey, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. I think what I've done is improving it a little bit. 10-second lag. Uh-oh. That's not good. And look at how fast this is on the straight, too. I mean, I'm getting almost at 100, yeah, 150 almost in a GT4 car. That is very fast for GT4. This thing is so quick. So you can see that the bumps disturb it a little bit. It got disturbed going over the bumps with the suspension. So that's a little bit of a flaw, but I've made the dampers really high. Now right here, I braked really hard there, anticipating the amount of understeer I get on the exit zone. And right there, I don't know. I think there's still a little bit of understeer on the exits, but it's getting way better. That's actually a big improvement since last time, and I'm not struggling for stability on the exits. I'm not like fishtailing or anything. Right there, I had to sacrifice throttle input though on the exit, and I still went off the track a little bit. There's just so much momentum pushing towards one side. All the lateral G's are going completely to one side on this. It'd be interesting if ACC added an accelerometer so we could really see where all the G's are going at one time. Oh, that was terrible. Driver error. That wasn't anything to do with the tune. That was just driver error right there. All right, let me start pushing it full speed. Let me go as hard as I can and see how it handles driving really hard now. Okay, well, that was a disaster. Maybe I shouldn't go that hard. It's right there. You see, I have to deal with understeer. I think I might be able to bump the rear toe even lower. I'll do a few more laps, and then I'll bump the rear toe even lower. But I want to get a feel for how this is as it stands right now, though, first. No. Goodness. Okay, you didn't see that. Erase your memory, that didn't happen. I feel like it still can be maybe even a little bit more agile on the corner entry. I might change the brake bias and also make the front toe angle a little bit more aggressive as well. Oh, shut up, you didn't see it. Yeah, I feel like this is getting better. It's getting there. It's getting to where I want it to be. And that's a good sign. Be careful about the sausage curve. This is getting a lot better than how it was. I'm actually really happy with where this is going. Ah! That's actually really good. That's really good. This is getting closer to where I want it to be. Wow, this thing is... I'm loving this. The Camaro's great. This is probably my favorite GT4 car I've tried so far. The bump's still disturbing a little bit. I might turn the dampers up on this. Still some understeer and corner exit. See right there, that's massive how much understeer it had there. Alright, I've tested it enough. Let's go ahead and stop the car. Wait, real quick. Ah, the tire pressure reset. Okay, there it goes. 26.8, 26.9. Okay, so the tires are at a pretty good temperature. I can probably bump the PSI a little bit higher, though. Okay, so I'm going to make the front toe angle a little bit more. Make the rear toe angle a little bit less. Let's try like 13. What else is it going to do? The brake bias. Let's make the brake bias a little bit less to get a little bit more rotation in. So let's do like 52.6 maybe. Let me try that. Bump up the dampers because it's not handling the bumps very well. So I'll do like one increment more on them because they're getting pretty high. Just do one increment on all of them. Okay, so all right. This should be close to perfection if all this works out according to plan. It's looking very good on paper, all of this, but be the real test to Oh, you were away, Brixby, because you said back. Okay, so basically what I just did, I made the front toe angle a little bit more aggressive. I made the rear toe angle less. Because it was at 0.15 in the rear, and I feel like I can afford even more than that. So, you know what? Let's make it 12. Let's make it even more. Let's make it 12. So negative 12 on the front, positive 12 on the rear. And then I made the brake bias less, so that way I get more rotation, not as much brake bias. Dampers I made just one increment more on each, because I feel like I can't really make... well, you know what? I could do this. I could just bump up just the rear bump a little bit higher. But you want the rebound to be higher than the bump anyways, but... yeah, there's not much more I can afford to do with the dampers. And the thing is, I'm just going to have to accept the fact that this car is not going to handle bumps well, because I'd rather have that than deal with the ride height being where it was to begin with, to have the ride height normal and then deal with so much body roll. So I feel like this is the best compromise I can have. I'm going to go ahead and try this now, but it's getting very close to where I want the tune to be. It's getting very close to perfected, so I'm going to go ahead and save these new settings before I even go out on the track. I'm titling this tune Brigsby stinks. Okay, so I just made a new tune titled Brigsby Stinks. Let's try out this tune. Oops, didn't mean to change the view. Alrighty. This should be close to perfection.
Stay away from curbs.
I see. What's up, man? I thought you were. Oh no, it was Duke that needed to go to bed. I thought. So I was like, wait a minute, Icy's back, but it was Duke that needed to go to bed. I got you guys mixed up for a second. I'm going to do a little bit of warm-up laps again, just like last time. You always want to get temperature in the tires before you go all out. And that's something that you should definitely keep in mind in this game, Brigsby, is you don't want to go all out right away. You want to get temperature in your tires first. And brakes. I'll do a little bit of some hard braking here too to get some temperature in the brakes. Hard braking like that, there we go, get some temperature in there. Do a little bit of weaving here, get some temperature in. Yeah, honestly, I'm liking this car so much though, that I might drive for Chevrolet in this game. Oh! Look at how bad it handles the sausage curves. Like, look at this. Oh! I'll go over those sausage curves on purpose next lap too, just so that you guys can see, like, the sausage curves on this is a death sentence. I have a feeling this is not going to be good at Monza, by the way, because the sausage curves at Monza are almost unavoidable. This thing is so fast, though. It feels like it's got the speed of a GT3 car almost, even though it's GT4. Sausage and meatballs. Hey, look at these bumps. Caused my back end to swing out. Look at that. I'm purposely going over the bumps so you guys can get an idea of that. Okay, here we go. There's going to be more bumps up here. Okay, watch this. Oh, I didn't do it much that time, actually. Alright, sausage curbs coming up soon. Not this turn, but coming up kind of soon. Oh, there's some bumps here. Ugh. Those bumps don't really affect it much. Bangers. No, those bumps affect it. Alright, here we go. Sausage curb time. Right up here. Let's see how let's go right over that sausage curb. Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh my god.
Got some light damage on the front.
Front. Oh, and the engine shut off too. See what I mean? Like, if you go directly over that sausage curb, it's a death sentence in this thing. Like, oh my gosh. Let's go over it again. Woo! Okay, I don't want to drive backwards too much because I have my ratings on right now and I'll get disqualified. It's actually monitoring my my driving habits right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull into the pits to. You know what? Forget repairing it. I'm just gonna return to garage because I'm gonna tweak the setup anyways. All right. So I feel like we can. I'm gonna leave that where it's at, but I'm gonna change this to be 1. Let's do 0.1 in the rear.
Sha.
Let's do 0.1 in the rear, and
Sha.
I think everything else is fine, to be honest.
Sha.
I think everything else is fine.
Sha. Sha.
What are you doing, Brixby?
Sha. Sha. Sha.
Sha.
Sha.
All right. Well, I'm happy with this tune, so I'm gonna let's make a separate sheet called Brigsby Stinks 2.0, and this will be our most updated tune. We'll try this out. This is probably gonna. I'm hopefully thinking that this is gonna be the last testing I have to do before we go into racing this thing.
It's Sushin you low. No text to speech Briggs low.
No, it is on text to speech, Icy. It is on it. This should be perfect. If here's the thing, I'm gonna base this off of one thing alone. Did my engine really just shut off? Okay, there we go. The only thing I'm gonna base this off of is if I get fishtailing on exits. If I get fishtailing on exits, I'm gonna bump up the rear toe angle a little bit more. If I don't, then this tune is good to go. Because that's the only other thing I'm worried about now. Okay, this is a lot more agile now. I might have pushed it too far. Yeah, that's very agile. Uh-oh. I might have to change it back just a tiny bit. Then again, my tires are cold right now, though, so I'm not going to make a final judgment until my tires get up to temperature here. You see that? You see how much understeer it has on exits? It's terrible. I'm really loving this car, though, for the most part. Okay, avoid the sausage. There we go. Oh, and I went off track on the exit because of the understeer. Go figure. To be honest, I might actually end up liking how much more agile this is. I just need to get used to it. Well, yeah, there's a tiny bit of fishtail on the exits now, though, and that's what I was looking out for the most. Let me see if that changes when the tires go up to temperature. If it doesn't, then I'll have to see. Oh, I braked too late. Hello, gravel. Hey, Brigsby, notice how when I went in the gravel, my tires didn't puncture. Ha ha! Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do a replay, but you guys can get a sick view of my car now. Look at how dirty it's getting from going off track so much. No, don't quit. Let's just... Oh, quit replay. Yes, quit the replay.
Yeah, Luke, pick on the noob,
Pick on the noob. So let's go back to the garage, and I'm definitely not going to use those settings. Let's put, honestly, we can probably do that toe angle on the front, but this is too much on the rear now. Let's I think having both of them at 12 was the best balance. I think having 12 all around is the right way to go. So yeah, I think the tuning sheet that I tried before that one that I just tried, the second to last one I tried, is the one I'm going to stick with. So we're going to... You know what? Actually, let's just overwrite this. And let's just title it Race 2838. Or 2833, sorry. So I do this on my tuning sheets to remind me what the ambient temperature and track temperature was when I made the tune. So I'm going to do race 2833, and I'm just going to delete the rest. Because I feel like I've definitely figured it out now. Like, this is the tune that I'm keeping. So that was a long process, but it paid off in the end. So there we go. Just one tune there. Later on, when the stream's over, I might just make some preset tunes for like a wet tune, a qualifying tune. This is a race tune, so if you do that, you don't have to keep fiddling around with all the options. You just go to your qualifying preset, your wet preset, all that stuff. But for now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and enter a race with high-level AI with that tune, just to see where I'm stacking up as far as pace goes. Because I figured out a way to where this car is very good to handle, but I don't know if it's up to pace. I see what you did there. All right, so instead of practice, let's go to quick race. Okay, race length. Race length. We'll just do a quick 10-minute race just to test if we're up to pace with them. Opponent skill. Let's do. Yeah, let's leave it how it is. 92 is good enough. So 92 out of 100 on opponent skill. Starting off in 8th place out of a race with 16 people. Seems pretty good to me. Let's do this. Here comes a race using controller. Oh boy. How much do you guys want to bet I'm going to hear? We got some light damage on the front, like 10 seconds into this.
World's chat reader kept calling me Briggs by, that's why I changed the Y out for ELO.
Oh. Well, I think the B is kind of catchy anyways, especially with the logo of the B, like aiming a stinger. Okay, so before this race starts, I'm going to load the setup that I just made. Definitely do not want to use a default setup on this. I like the commentator in the background, though. It's pretty cool.
I'm not a buy low.
You're not a buy. You mean you're not buy? No, I'm just kidding. Alright, this should all be good to go. Wait a second, if it's a 10-minute race, we're going to do this. We're going to lower the fuel down to like 30. Honestly, wait, if it's 10 minutes, let's just do 28. And front brakes and rear brakes both 1. Everything else should be good. Ooh, the track surface temperature is at 40. Okay, we're going to... See, this is why I do that stuff in my tune where I take note of what temperature it was. So we're going to lower the PSI by a bit then if the track is going to be that hot to start out with. So let's do 0.3 increments lower in each. That should be fine. I think the setup's all good to go now. So here we go. Race time on controller. Dear God, this is going to be a nightmare. It says honeybee. Here we go.
Stay in
the
single
hood
file.
view. Stay in single file, alright.
Low tire pressure. Stay clear of the curbs.
Yeah, I saw that. Congrats. This is the formation lap. I like how you can manually put heat in your tires by manually swerving on the pace lap, unlike the rolling start on Gran Turismo, where you can't do anything. Thanks for the good luck. This is against high-level AI, so this isn't online, but yeah, it should be fun regardless. It's just a short little 10-minute race. Looks like we got another Camaro up there. So we got an Alpine behind us. That's an Alpine back there. They don't have an Alpine GT race car of Alpine and Gran Turismo. They also don't have the Bentley GT car. But this game is missing the Mustang and the Supra. Which that really bothers me, especially the Mustang. I want the Mustang to be in the game. Luck Luke, luck Luke, luck Luke. See, I love how you got so much time to put heat in your tires on the formation lap.
Going double file.
Okay, here we go, double file. It's not a close race yet, we're not even under green. It's a yellow flag so far. We're not under the green flag yet. Did you know you can look left and right? Look at that. You can look left and right. I got a Camaro right directly ahead of me to start. Okay, here we go. It's going to be green flag any second now. Come on, I'm ready. Give us a green. Come on. It's going to be green. It's going to be green. I'm waiting for it. I got my finger on the pedal waiting. Controller. Come on, go green already.
Green light.
There we go. Look at that reaction time. I'm already past 2 people. Woo!
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the right. 3 wide. All clear. Clear on the right.
Haha, you saw that? I got the moves. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This Camaro was so fast. But that was also kind of attributed to my reaction time when it went green. I just smashed down that pedal. Like right away. I was waiting for it. So I'm in 4th place right now. Gotta catch up to that Audi ahead of me. Oh, that was a little rough. Yeah, I lost pace there. That was pretty bad. Audi any? I've never heard that one before, actually. Well, the car behind me is not anywhere near me, though, so I got a lot of open space here. Look, I'm pulling up closer to them on the end of the straight though, because that speed is pretty high. This thing's really fast. Oh, I'm catching up now. Look at that, I'm catching up now. About 2/10 behind. Okay, now it's more than 2/10, looks like. Catch up. Should I also mustard? Oh man, that sausage curve is terrible on this car. I had to counter steer a lot there. And I was getting so close too! A little bit of trail braking there where I shouldn't be. We're almost at the midway point. Just about. My sausage hurts now. Do I have a dirty willy, Ricky? Oh, I'm coming in hot. Come on, I'm coming for you, Audi. Get your ass back here, Audi. Oh, I have it now. Look at this. Come on, get back here. See, one thing I've noticed though is that Audi is so good on they fly out of the corners. They're not too great entering, but man, that Audi on the exit is so fast. I'm the opposite. This car's the opposite of that. Okay, that was a bit wide. I would say that was a mediocre exit. Okay, I was able to avoid the sausage that time, thankfully. I've got to catch up with this guy. I'm not close enough to pick up the slipstream yet, too. I mean, that just comes down to preference. It's whatever you want. That was real good. Look at that. I'm right behind him now. But look at how fast he... See, that's the thing. This car can't keep up on the exits because of the understeer and the exits. The Audi always pulls away on the exits. I got really close to him though for a second. I feel like I can catch up again. Come Give me that slipstream. Ah, he's pulling away again. See, I catch up to him on the entry, but then halfway through the corner, it's like it just gets gone. Be careful through here. Oh, he slid a little bit. He pushed it a little bit. Now's my chance. Come on! Oh my gosh, it's so fast out of the corners. Look at that thing just flying up there. Maybe I have too much downforce. I doubt it. I might try to lower the downforce by like 1 increment and then try this race again. I know, that Audi out of the corner is like, boom! It's like the Roadrunner, it's just like, meep, meep, and then it just is out of there. Oh! I had the counter steer there. I'm the tuning sensei. Should that be my new username? Change my YouTube channel to be called Tuning Sensei. Look how good I am through that section though. Man. That Audi's just out of there every time, like, especially coming out of a slow hairpin. It's just like, meep, meep, and then it's just gone. Tuning Sensei. Oh, that's way too hot. I might get a penalty for that. Really? They're saying no time gain, so they don't want to give me a penalty for that? Interesting. The Competizione Whisperer. I mean, honestly, I'm loving this game. It's just sitting so naturally with me. Like, I'm picking up this game so much. Come on, Audi! I'm coming for you! Oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. I keep getting so close to him, and then he's like, nope. Final lap, right, here we go. Come on, can I do this? Oh, I had to brake because he was like right there, and it threw me off. Why was he? Of course, when I'm getting right on his tail, he goes slow on corner exit. I wasn't even expecting that, and it threw me off. That bastard. Go! Get out of here! There goes my safety rating. It's AI. It's not online. I should make tutorials on how to overtake, and that would be like, yeah, bye-bye. I should be watching in the future for tuning tips. Instead of tuning tips, I should make overtaking tips by what you just saw there. It's like, are you frustrated by how a driver ahead of you is always going really fast on the corner exits, but then when you get real close behind him, he goes slow on the corner exits just to throw you off? Just simply shove him out of the way. I don't know how I'm not like disqualified now. The Brigsby just said bye-bye. And you know there's people that do that kind of stuff online in this. There's definitely a plague of people that drive that way online, unfortunately. Like the move I just pulled, there's people that will do that online very often. I'm gonna laugh when it shows like the podium celebrations and I'm up there despite me ramming somebody off to get there. Oh, yikes, that's bad. Well, I wonder if it's because my downforce is just gone because I destroyed my splitter from that. In fact, how's it looking like? Not actually that bad.
Excellent job, mate. B3, you're on the podium. Now bring it back home safely.
That was interesting. Yeah, look, I'm up there on the podium. What kind of race officials are running this place? They see me almost murder somebody, and they're just like, yeah, you can go up there on the podium, who cares? That was hilarious. I'm gonna watch that replay. Okay, so I'm still behind him there. Where do I do it? Let me keep skipping ahead. Oh, I think it's up. No, it's not there. Is it up here? I think it is. I think it is. Oh, no, it's not there. I think it's the next lap. Well, no, he's not ahead of me anymore, so I must have... Yeah, oops. I want to watch it from the Audi's perspective. It's actually the only livery you can pick in the Camaro, unfortunately. There's some cars in this game where there's like 10 different liveries you can pick, and then there's some that are like this, where they only come with one. Here we go. Okay, watching from the Audi's perspective. And he has to wait to re-enter too. Oh my gosh. I completely ruined his race. How do you change liveries? Well, I'll show you in a second. Hang on, let me look from different angles on this. Change camera. Let's see if we can see me next to him like this. No, I don't think it can. Hang on. Well, let's watch it from this angle. That is a hard hit. Let's see it from, I'm getting a taste for what I'm going to experience when I go online later on. Alright, that's enough of that. I'll show you how to change a livery. It's way more simple than GT7, but it's also... Hang on, I need to see what this did to my safety rating. Okay, let's see. Go to stats. Oops. Okay, rating. There we go. Safety. What the heck? My safety rating is the same? Why? Why did my safety rating not get penalized for that? Okay, so if you want to change your livery, it would be right here, what I have highlighted. You just change your team, essentially. So when you change a team, it changes the livery, and these are based on real-life teams and real-life liveries on real-life cars. This is actually the licensed, like, GT World game. So all the liveries you see are based on that team. So when you change the team, it changes the livery, and you can see what drivers are on the team down there. So let me, for the sake of it, just to show you, I'll go to, like, I'll go to, like, the McLaren. Should have a lot of different liveries, hopefully. And you can see, like, these... Yeah, so these three drivers, or these two drivers, belong to that team. So then you can go here, and then see there's 4 different teams you can pick. So when you go to a different team, it shows a different livery there. And you can check it out by, like, opening the door. The left, right door, you can do that. And then you can change the camera to where, like, if you want to zoom in, you can. And then you can like change it to where you're viewing the inside of the cockpit, and if you want to like offset the panning angle, you can, and you can like see everything around the inside. So, oh look, they got a walkie-talkie. I don't think that's a walkie-talkie. What is that? That's well, something about like the radios is comm. It's definitely for communications. But yeah, you can look like all the way around the inside of the car. But yeah, that's how you change the liveries. But that's a very basic steering wheel. And I like how when you zoom way in, it shows like all the little grains of the Alcantara too. Yep, and then you can just view it from the outside again. But so yeah, you can like go to this team, that team. So there's a lot more liveries in GT3. I've noticed. Like if we go to like because this is GT4. If we go to like 2021 and it's a GT World Challenge, it's going to be GT3 cars. This is what I was using most recent. I'm definitely, I think I've decided what cars I'm going to be driving in this game. And in a game like this, you want to really stick with one car. You can't really jump around cars like you can in Gran Turismo. And I think I'm going to be sticking with the Porsche 991 that you see here in the GT3 category, and then the Camaro in GT4. But like let's say if you go to the Lamborghini, you need to see like just how many teams are here. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I think like if you go to the oops, a Ferrari, there's 5 here. So yep, you just change like the different teams, and then it'll change the livery there, and then it shows what drivers are down there. You like the sound of what? But this is what I was hoping they would have when you were picking your car, Brigsby, on your stream, because you had the old Aston Martin. This is a really good Aston Martin in the game. Like, this thing is very good, actually. The new Aston Martin. The Aston Martin Vantage. That thing's... And they only have 2 liveries for this one, too. So, yeah, but... yeah, they got look at all those buttons. Woo! You got fuel reset. I don't know what HFS means. Rain light. Yeah. So that's just kind of something fun to do if you're bored, I guess, is you can look at the inside of the cars. But this is a car that I was like thinking they would have for you to pick on your career mode. I like how the doors kind of go like somewhat upwards, but not really. That's an interesting design. Yeah, the Aston Martin, it lacks speed, but everything else is great with it. So it's a great beginner's car because the only downside to it, the only flaw it has, is it's not really like the quickest, which that's great for beginners because it handles tremendously well, just overall. And it's really, really good in the rain, although the best car in the rain is, well, it's not here. I think it's, if you go to, I think it shows up in... Does it show up in Intercontinental? I think it does. Intercontinental GT Challenge. No, it's not there. Well, then it's got to be, is it in... If we change a year, if we go to, like, 2018. There it is, yeah. The Lexus is the best in the rain. That's really about it. Like, the Lexus, if it's a dry race, you're going to lose in this thing. But it's really good in the rain. It's so funny because the Lexus is like OP in the rain and it sucks in the dry. The rain felt easier in the GTR than it does dry? Really? Huh. Well, it's probably because you had traction control up so high. I've never tried the Jaguar, though. I eventually want to get around to trying the Jaguar because that'd be pretty interesting to try. I'm theorizing that the Jaguar would be... outdated because it's from 2012. So if you're competing with cars from like 2018 and upwards, this 2012 Jaguar is just not going to be able to keep up. But I want to try it just for the sake of trying it eventually. But I've definitely found what cars I'm going to be driving. So if it's a GT3 race, I am using the Porsche all the way. So this is what I'm going to be sticking with for GT3. Honestly, I think that's because in ACC you can personalize the cars so much more. That and the physics in ACC are just so much better. Like after you get a taste for the physics in this game, Gran Turismo feels like so choppy with the physics in comparison. And I think the best example is in low speed corners. Like the corners where you have to be in first gear just feels so awkward in Gran Turismo, where driving in low speed corners in this feels so amazing in this in comparison. So the physics in this game is just buttery smooth. But yeah, those are the cars I'm maining, is the Porsche and the Camaro. But you know what? I'm going to try just a few more races in the Camaro just to see. I'll do a few more races on the Camaro just to see if it's still up to pace. And I was going to lower the downforce. So I will do another quick race here. And I'll keep it at the same difficulty, but I'll just lower the downforce by like 1 increment to see if that makes a difference. And hopefully this time I don't have to ram somebody off to pass them. So I'm going to load the same setup I use, but I'll just change the downforce. It's good that you like the GTR. I think the most important thing is you just got to find one car that you can stick with and just stick with that one car. So I'm going to make the rear wing too, and having less downforce on the rear wing should make a difference. So let me try that out.
I like the BMW M4.
Yeah, the BMW M4 is great for high-speed tracks. Wait, wait a minute. Are you talking about the BMW M4 GT3 or GT4? Because they're two completely different cars. Because I'm thinking about the one in the GT4 class.
Go in single file.
They're two completely different cars. GT4, okay. So we were thinking about the same car. Yeah,
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
the M4 is great on high-speed tracks, but I feel like it suffers on more low-speed tracks. Like this one, for instance. I feel so much more comfortable in the Camaro than the M4 on a track like this. Going to be weaving a little bit to get heat in the tires before the race starts. So again, I'm starting off in 8th place. Hopefully I can get that lightning fast reaction time when it goes to green again like I did last time. And the AI is on the same difficulty. Only thing I changed is I made the rear wing less downforce. The key is, let's see if with the rear wing being less downforce, can I still keep the car under control with it being faster? Because less downforce, you're going to be faster on the straights. It might be a little slower on the corners, but this thing isn't really that fast on the corners anyways. So having less downforce in a car like this might be a better solution. We'll see. Worst case scenario, this thing's going to become very uncontrollable, especially at the section with the sausage curbs. That's my biggest fear right now. Now, Brigsby, since me and Icy were talking about GT4 cars, that is DLC. So if you don't have the DLC pack, you can't drive a GT4 category. Alright, we're about to start soon. Relatively soon, at least. This is a similar lineup as I had last race. Immediately ahead of me is the Camaro, immediately behind me, Alpine. The only difference is that to the front left of me is Aston Martin this time instead of Mercedes. Alright, it's gonna go green soon. Here we go. Come on. I'm ready.
Green light, go.
Look at that speed. Wow. Whoa.
Car on the left.
Slight contact there.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Let's go. That is a lot faster with less downforce. Wow. Okay, this thing, it has become an all different beast now with less downforce. Like, that is tremendously fast. I'm already in second place. And I have the same rival car ahead of me as last time, but I'm battling for the lead now. That's the difference. I really feel like this is tremendously faster, though. I'm probably going to leave it at these settings, to be honest. And see, this is why I said I do like a two-step thing to tuning, is that I test it out with the track completely to myself, but then I test it against AI and races, because I noticed that I was a little bit off pace and I lower the downforce and it makes all the difference. If I was just purely going off of driving feel, then it would be a different story and I would not have figured that out. It's a little bit harder to handle with less downforce, but it's very manageable. A little late on throttle there. And despite me being late on throttle, I'm still keeping up. That's a very good sign. Gotta pass him and take the lead. I know I can do it. Oh no, dipped into the gravel a tiny bit. And did it again. I'm getting too anxious. Taking those turns very aggressively trying to pass them, but I'm getting on the throttle too early. Could have been a lot smoother through there.
You're halfway through. Keep it up.
Definitely a lot faster through Sector 2 than he is. Oh my gosh. That one caught me by surprise. I'm still in second place though. Big improvement from last race. Wide on that turn every single lap, but that's just due to driver error. Not my greatest race. I'm getting too tired for this. Yeah, I'm probably going to call it a day after I'm done with this race, which is on the final lap right now, so getting way too tired. See, this is ridiculous. I'm driving horrible.
You got this finish great. Great job, man. D2. Bring it back to the pits.
Well, okay, so I feel like the car was tremendously faster, but I could have done a lot better if it weren't for me driving terribly. The car was a little bit harder to handle, but honestly, I'm just going to chalk up to the fact that it wasn't the fact that it was less downforce that caused me to drive that bad. It's just the fact that I'm really tired, and I'm just sucking right now. I'm not going to just say, oh, it's because of the downforce and blah, 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 and the sun was in my eyes. No, it's just, I just did pretty bad. I'm getting really, really sleepy. So, I definitely found the GT4 car I'm going to be driving, though. I'm going to stick with the Camaro. I really like it. Thanks for watching, guys. I think it was pretty interesting seeing me play on a controller on a game like this. Alright, guys. Drive fast. Drive fast. See how long it's been since I've done this stuff? Let's try that again. Race fast, race clean, and I will see you all in the next video.
Later, man.